YT, it's Sugar LB, and I just got back into town from Pensacola. I didn't vlog while I was in Pensacola because my husband is not really, I guess the vlogging annoys him, right? Because you can't do anything. You're like, hold up, let me get a shot. Hold up, let me do this. Hold up, let me record. So I just said, okay, I wasn't gonna vlog. I do like to vlog though. I don't know, y'all know how I am with my YouTube channel. I'm still just going in the breeze. What are they doing? They loading up this couch, I heard that. I want to pull in pants, but yeah, just got back from Pensacola and we didn't do much actually. I was like out of it when we were getting ready to leave, and I didn't even pack right. And I really have to write everything down that I do because I really am just that type of person that I won't remember. Oh, y'all see my hair, right? Oh, I ain't got no braids. I took them out, of course, because it was time, y'all. I had them braids since August. I had to, oh, that's a cute little pet. Yeah, pet, right? Cute pet. That's like an oxymoron. I guess they do be cute. But anyway, I had these braids since August, y'all. I was going to try to keep them in for 3 months, but it was time. Like, some of mine were hanging by dear life. And, you know, I kept losing some here and there. So I was like, it's time. They slipping out. They have grown out. And to my surprise, I didn't lose very much hair. Like, of course, you're gonna have some shedding when you take your braids out, of course. That's normal, but I had very little shedding. And I felt like my hair was thicker when I took my braids out. Like, that was weird. I guess when you don't do anything to your hair, because you know when you have braids in your hair, you don't do much to them. Well, I didn't at least. So it was a, I didn't even have a lot of buildup though, but I know I had a lot of natural hair oils going and stuff like that. And maybe like I would try to wet my hair, keep my hair, because you know water is the hydrator, you know what I'm saying, the #1 hydrator. So I would wet my hair a couple times a week, and then like once a week or once every other week I would wash it, and that was it. And then when I wet my hair, I usually like to put some conditioner in it, but it wasn't all, it was more than I normally have ever done with braids, because I've had braids probably like 4 times in my life, you know, done professionally or whatever, but I never would do anything to them. I mean, I would spray something around my edges, you know, some oil or something, or put some Vaseline around my edges so I would keep my edges, but that was about it. I never did anything to my hair. And this time I actually took better care of it and moisturized it more often, put oil in it more often and everything, and my hair came out thick. I was so shocked, but I'm so glad, because I was actually nervous when I was getting my hair braided, because number one, I don't feel like, even though I went to professional hair braiding spot, I don't feel like my braids were professionally done. And let me tell you why. As I was taking them down, I noticed a couple things. Number one, every braid, I guess when you do micro braids, you don't want every braid to like stop at the same point, else it'll be like, it won't be blended well, you know what I'm saying, because she did the knotting technique. So when she braided right past my hair, she knotted it, and if you knotted them all at exactly the same place, it probably wouldn't flow right. So I guess that's just the technique. But I will say this, when I was looking at my hair and it was growing out, and my hair is curly, so it's not gonna lay straight in the braid. Okay, when I got it done, I had it was blow dried and it was straight, but it's going to curl up because I've wetted it. So the hairs that were sticking out, that were laying flat, began to stick out and curl out. And I was looking at where they were curling out, and I was looking at where she knotted it, and sometimes I couldn't really tell the difference if she was past my hair or if she was right on the tip. I was nervous that I was cut. I wasn't really nervous, slightly. I was slightly nervous that she had knotted some of my hair up in there. And the thing about it is, you have to cut the knot off, or you have to razor blade it off. And I didn't have time to be trying to razor blade off, because listen, it took me 5 hours to take them braids down. 5 hours, okay? And I'll tell you the story behind that. So anyway, I didn't have time to be having no razor blade, and my husband was busy, so I wasn't gonna ask him to help me, because normally he'll help me take my braids down. But yeah, but I wasn't sure if it was like if it went completely past, you know? So I felt like I was snipping some of my ends off, which wasn't like, it's not the end of the world, okay? So that was one issue that I had, the fact that I don't think that she braided past all of my hair enough. The second issue that I had was when, okay, so this is an after issue, the whole braiding past the hair, knotting past the hair, that's an after issue. One of the issues that I had before was this snipping she was doing up the braid. Like, I feel like they don't care. Like, they braid your hair and then you have little tiny hairs sticking out that are your hairs, and they just snip up the braid because they want a clean look. I feel that if they take the time to braid it right and make the braids the correct size, there won't be no hair sticking out for you to snip, no matter what your texture of hair is. If you correctly, you do it correctly. So that was another issue that I had. Moving on, when I was taking my braids out, I noticed that when I got to the middle of my head, my braids were thicker. And it's not even because she was using, like, the braids weren't thicker per se, but the squares were thicker. She used bigger squares in the middle to save time, and therefore the amount of hair that she used, because she wanted all the braids to still look the same size when they fell, was not enough hair for the size squares that she used in the middle. So I thought that was, that's cutting corners. That's not braiding right. I know I have a lot of hair and I know I have a big head, and if it's just gonna take you more time, it's gonna take you more time. And I understand that she needs to make this money, she needs to get this check, because she's the only one in there. She used to have a girl that worked with her, but I don't know what happened to that girl. She said she had went home for vacation, but I'm like, dang, it's been 2 months and I went back to the shop because I was gonna ask her to do a takedown, because they charge $60 for a takedown. It was, how much was it to get my hair done? It was around, I don't know if it was $190 or if it was $220. It was around there to get it done, and if you want her to take them down, it's $60. So I wasn't gonna be beat. I was gonna have her take them down, but when I went there on Friday, she had a girl in there, and then she said she was gonna call me, so I wrote my name in the book, and she never called me the next day. So I was just like, I cannot go another day with these braids in my hair, so I'm gonna take them down. And that's how I found out about the squares. But I understand that it's only her, and you think about charging $200. That's $200 for the whole day, which is a decent salary. I wonder how much more it would have taken her. Probably would have taken her a couple of more hours had she had braided it properly. So I don't like that when you be cutting corners. Don't cut corners. You know what I mean? Do not cut corners. I don't like that. So, because I feel like then I was kind of gypped, like I didn't get my money's worth. So that's another issue that I have with that. Will I ever get my hair braided? I think I'm not gonna ever get it braided again, because like the last the last issue that I had was that when my hair was growing out, okay, it was growing out and I had about that much new growth, right? Which is a good thing because you want your hair to grow. But my issue was like, because my braids were so tight, and mainly I saw it around the edges, because you can see right there, you know what I'm saying? And that's where your hair is the most fragile. My hair was tight around the edges, and you have to keep it really, really moisturized to prevent breakage and stuff. I looked closely and I saw some of my hairs plucked out. You know how like you pluck your hair in your eyebrow, and when you look at it, you can see like the hair follicle is kind of like this clear white thing. Some of my hairs on every single braid that was in the front, I would say about 2 to 3 hairs were plucked out of my scalp, because them braids were so tight that they just eventually plucked out of my scalp. That's a bit much. Now, I know that the braids have to be tight, not tight, but have all the hairs in them. You want a clean look. I don't really know how to avoid that, but it is kind of nerve-wracking to know that some of your hairs is plucked, especially around your edge line. And I'm really not the type of person to worry about that, because thank God I just have that type of hair that's gonna grow thick. It doesn't take much effort, and the type of texture of hair I have and all that, it just works for me. And my hair could get damaged, and then just from me taking care of it for like a month, it'll be right back on the same track. And even if it's thinning out, it'll get real thick. That's just the type of hair I have. But it's still nerve-wracking to know that some of your hairs are being plucked out without you knowing it, when it's happening. So I didn't really like that. I just thought that it's a lot of money. It's low maintenance, definitely, but at the same time, if you want to save your hair and you don't want your hair to be ripped out, or you don't want to lose a lot of hair, you do have to do some things to it. And another thing that I didn't like was the fact that I was scared to style it, because I wanted to wear it down at times, but when my braids, see, when it's fresh, you can just kind of, I like to rock the fresh look. I like the bun, the high bun, because when it's fresh, you know, your edge line is popping. It's all good. I love that. But when it starts to get a little ratty, I want to style it because I want to take the focus off the ratness. So I would want to do these little up down styles, but then by the time it gets ratty and then braids slipping out in the back, you become self-conscious, because I would just be walking around the house and a braid would fall out. And I remember a braid fell out when I was at work and we were having a meeting. I don't think anybody caught it, but it's really nothing to be embarrassed about. I don't typically get embarrassed, but I don't want people to be like, yo, braid on the floor. You know what I mean? I just don't even want to deal with that, because if it's a white person, white people don't know, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to understand that that's what happens. But I was talking to my homie from the job, this black lady. I was like, yeah, you know, my braids been slipping out. She's like, yeah, I know how that is about. So I see black people, we know about that because we get our hair braided. You know, white people, they probably won't even let me know that my braid was on the floor. They probably just let my braid be on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't want to be dealing with that. So I was nervous to wear it down because I didn't want my braids to be falling out. So I always resorted to a high bun. That's what I resorted to. High bun, high bun, high bun. So anyway, those braids are out of my hair. And what am I doing right now? I am about to hit the wig shop up, because I think I'm just going to do protective style, and rock a wig.